Hello again, everyone. This is Constance. How you doing? This is part two of domestic violence toward the young women. My name is Constance Nunn. I am a domestic violence advocate. I speak on relationships, and I wanted to make all this week for the young ladies who's dealing with domestic violence, all of the ladies who have been murdered by domestic violence. Shout out to my new subscribers. How y'all doing? Thank you very much for watching my videos. I know I have little subscribers and views, but I appreciate whoever watches this, and I pray to God that some of you men and women will learn something from this. It's not man bashing, it's not women bashing or anything. Really want this word to go out about the women, mostly these young women. I'm very worried about them and this domestic violence, and some things that I want to talk about. Many years ago, back in 2014, I had a YouTube subscriber I used to watch, and her name was Misha Boo. Misha Boo was, I think, 24, and I went and bought me a sewing machine, and I said at age 55 I was going to teach myself how to sew, because she's really good. She has her own business and everything. Her name is Misha Boo, and you can look it up on the internet, and then she have old videos on YouTube. Well, 3 months went by. I never heard from her again, because she usually upload 2 or 3 videos a week. I never heard from her again. And someone was telling me, Lord was telling me, go and pull up Misha Boo to see when was her last video. And I pulled it up. YouTube subscriber murdered by her ex-boyfriend. And I cried. A lot of ladies, she had a young crowd. She was in her 20s, so she had a whole lot of young followers. I mean, I couldn't find out what had happened to her. I'm like, okay, Misha's married. Well, she was married, and Misha had 3 kids, 2 or 3 kids. One of the boyfriends was her ex, and she had a child by him. He had came through the unlocked door, and I couldn't understand why the door was unlocked. I'm like, if this lady is married, if Misha is married, why was the door unlocked? And he went in there inside the house and shot her point blank. He shot her in the head. That took me, I was so depressed for a whole week. This happened in Sacramento, California. She was killed by domestic violence, even though she was married. He shot her in the head. And she had been getting away from this man. His last name is Green. You can look it up on the internet. Misha Boo murdered. And he got 75, and I'm so glad he got 75 to years in life. 75 years to life in prison. And you ought to see his picture. It's full of blood. His face is blood all on his nose, blood running down I think his chin, blood right here. I guess I don't know whether she was fighting him or something, and he just shot her, and blood splashed on his face. That's the first thing when a man shoot a woman point blank close up, blood splashed on their face. What I'm saying here, you young ladies and stuff, a lot of y'all do story time, and this is a serious matter, domestic violence. You need to do a background check at least a week after you date the man. You don't have to tell him. You don't have to tell him at all. Just do checkpeople.com. Check, CHECK, people.com. That's where I did a background check on my ex, and it was devastating. Y'all need to check, even if he don't have no background. He might not have nothing on his record, but you need to see the signs of controlling, jealousy, and domestic violence, okay? This is to the ladies, because Misha's ex-boyfriend, he had been charged with 4 domestic violence charges on his record. Police had found out he had beat other young girls to death. They say he beat one girl where she ran out the house to neighbors with no shoes on. He beat her with I think some kind of stick or something. He beat her to death. Every woman he was with had beat her. And then Misha broke up with him. And then it was months later till he finally came on and killed her behind domestic violence. First of all, do a background check. After you date somebody after a week or two, find out their first and last name and do a background check. This is to all the young women out there who's going through domestic violence and older women. Right now, I'm talking about you young girls that's dating these thugs and you think it's funny. Some of y'all laugh at story time, but this is not funny. It's a serious matter. All you men out there, your daughters are getting killed by domestic violence and nobody's speaking about it. Nobody's speaking about it. The relationship part, the dating, will come later. I need to get this over with. It's getting more severe. Women are getting killed, messing with these men who have childhood damage and stuff. And so I want to let y'all young girls know that y'all are beautiful. Y'all have something going on with your life. A lot of y'all are real sweet, beautiful. And you got to look through this. You got to see this dangerous man that you messing with. And he can be in his 20s. He can have a mental illness. We're going to talk about more, okay? I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. I want to make that straight. But I am speaking on domestic violence. I went through it 20 years ago. I've been through it. Not severe, but I've been through it. And I want you young ladies to know you better start watching. You better start listening to what this man is telling you. This dude is telling you. Okay? All right. You can catch me at Instagram. You can email me constancenunn1965 at gmail.com if you have any questions. Pretty soon I'm going to start doing coaching. It's kind of early right now, so I want to get this message out. And I want y'all to know that I love y'all young women. It hurts me to hear all of these murders all the time. I don't know how much I can take of this. I've been hearing about it, and then this crisis that's been going on, this COVID, and you have to stay inside with this man, it makes it worse. Okay? ConstanceNunn1965 at gmail.com. We're going to go on with part 3 for the young women out here, domestic violence, okay? And what to look for. And we're going to go back to childhood memories.